Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to our TGIF Talks, episode 198. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by our guest, and for the last time, the Rental Man Buck.
Why last?
Oh, we're done after 200. I retired from YouTube.
Okay.
Well,
It's a sad day.
Huh? Yeah.
It's a sad day.
It happened a while ago, actually, but we'll roll the intro and I'll explain. One of these, not like the other. This might be loud. Yes, I'm done. I gave up.
Gave up.
Gave up.
Well, that's
quit.
one way to look at it.
Well, I ran out of ideas. Realistically, is actually what happened. I was looking at my ideas board, and it wasn't getting longer. It was just getting shorter and shorter, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any more ideas that I could throw on said board. And I'm like,
You're at a Spotter Studio.
No.
It's a new hub thing that it was compiled between a bunch of creators. Dude Perfect was one of them. Or at least they're a big one that backs it. And it basically helps with AI generation of video ideas, thumbnails, titles, things that you could just give it the keyword and it can kind of at least help you out with it.
Right.
And if you click on the stuff, if you get the trial stuff through the video that it was, you can get it free for like 60 days before you would have to actually start paying for it. So it'd be something that if you wanted to try it out and see whether or not it could give you any sort of an inspiration, if you just got keywords of whatever you do. I actually picked it up like a week or two ago because I did the math. It's been gonna be able to get me through to the last week of December. And if I get a video or two ahead of it, then I can do it through the end of the year and then start of 2025. If it's been working, whether it gives me the titles or it gives me whatever I do else, it's mainly going to be used for titles because I'm terrible with titles.
Oh, yeah. Titles.
Justifying it, I could see whether or not it's worth what it's going to cost a month. I think it's like almost $50 a month. But for what you'd be using it for, if it's the primary object, then I can see it. If I'm doing a video and I can get one to pop off for 30, 40,000 views, it's like it pays for the month on its own.
Is it any different than just using ChatGPT?
Well, it's basically centered around like the TikTok and YouTube. I mean, if ChatGPT can do it, then go ahead and use it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT can do it.
But this one
Google
also has
Gemini.
all the other tools as well.
Yeah.
Like the thumbnail generation, the plot or themes, however you can get ideas. I mean, if that's just something that I've been looking at, and it's actually been nice because it breaks it all down, and I could see the usage of it. But ChatGPT, if it does the same thing, then go for it.
I've seen YouTubers use ChatGPT, the other science YouTubers, but my problem.
You being the host though, what's going on here though? What are we doing today?
What? What?
What's the whole topics?
What do you mean topics? Oh, for the podcast?
I was gonna say.
Well, I was gonna keep. Well, I kind of figured that we'd talk about retirement because quitting, I guess we'll call that quitting.
You're
retirement,
retiring.
whatever.
I'm just hitting the stride.
Hey, you're hitting your stride. I was gonna talk about my
giving up party.
No, because like the other thing was, it was like, okay, I technically have ideas, but that's back to old scripted content. And scripted content just takes so damn long, and it just it's just like this grind, and you're just like, God, I hate that. And also, I spend my time better
Or
just
that you have a full-time job. Like you can't it's not something that you can dedicate your time to. You have very limited allotment, and
Yeah,
when you do get that, it's like you can't put in the work that for someone like where I'm at full time doing this, I can sit here for 12 hours and work on something.
right? Or it's like when a weekend comes up and it's just like, okay, your entire weekend is going to be making YouTube videos. And you're like, I wanted to not do that. I wanted to rest. No. We gotta hit the grind. And then the summer's the worst. Because, like, there are gonna be weekends where it's like, I work and mow and volunteer. And that is my entire Saturday. That's it. So then Sunday, well, Phil comes over about 12. I don't wake up till like 9 because I'm up late, probably either doing YouTube stuff or having my actual rest time or whatever, you know. And so then I get a few hours there, which and it's like, okay. And then we do a podcast, we watch TV shows, and then, I have to start getting ready for work the next day. It's like, well, that's dumb. And then in the winter, when I don't have to mow, it's like, okay, I've got more time.
A little bit easier.
Yeah, I've got more time. But what I want to do, and what I've been working on until this week. Well, this week's been the previous week, I should say. Sorry, everything's all screwed up. I've been sick for 5 days.
Oh, I don't blame you. I didn't expect October to take off the way it did just for the busyness because I decided to go from 2 videos a week plus the streams of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday mornings. Now I incorporate Saturdays, so I got to put out another one throughout the week. And one of them I do try to do once a week it's called the Grandpa one where I'm working with Austin. Well, I originally started that one as a complete joke to just kind of throw a wrench in things before the end of the year because I wanted something different. And the first one comes out and Austin messages me on Discord and he's like, hey, I need another slot for my stuff and this would be something that we could work on together. So why don't we put something together and just go with this till the end of the game, till the next one comes out. Well, then it's the front runner. It's that and my Nebraska one. And that's one I just worked on all day today. So it's like you can't dump those the second 25 comes out because that's what's paying the bills right now. But
Right.
I have to have Austin at least once a week to do this. So I have to schedule everything around it. So on my whiteboard over here, it's like, okay, I got to do Grandpa for this Thursday because usually I try to do it Tuesday or Thursday for that one. Well, this Nebraska one now won't come out until Saturday. And then depending on when I'm able to work with FS25, I want Tuesday, Thursday next week
Right.
to be 25 because the game comes out Tuesday, so boom, boom. And then Saturday would be old school, which that's what I'm going to try and work on tomorrow because unless I have Austin tomorrow, I don't have time to record old school or any of these other ones because I'm going to be gone all week next week. So I got like technically 6 or 7 videos to. I got to do at least 6 videos before I leave next week.
I remember having to do that one time. When I have to go on trips, it sucked. Getting, like, when you go on a 10-day trip and you have to get 11, 12 shorts done ahead of time, you're like, well, this is less than ideal. Oh, it's also out of the shorts idea. That was the other thing. But no, my and also the shorts just got too much hate. And also my videos just I put a lot of effort in, but they just didn't get a lot of views out. But anyways, I've had a fever for the past 5 days. It's been brutal. Like, today's been the first day I finally felt well, and apparently I am fever-free right now. We'll check again. Maybe the ibuprofen is still running through my system.
It's still running, yeah. I had it where I came home from Husker Harvest Days, and I picked up a fever of some sorts. Actually, hang on, what was this? It's November now?
Yeah.
So I got sick in November when I came home from Husker Harvest, from September. When I came home from that, I knew by the second I walked in the door, I'm like, this is gonna be a long night. They had that. It was the one. Apparently, it was like the infant daycare thing that was going around. People were either vomiting or they were basically on the toilet 24/7 for like
Mm.
7, 8 hours at a time. Well, I went to bed at like 7 o'clock, and I was married to the porcelain, upchucking from like 8 o'clock until 5 in the morning, every 20 minutes. Oh, it was
You know
bad.
what's crazy? I keep saying this and it still hasn't happened. I haven't vomited in probably a decade.
Nice.
Actually, I think it has been a decade. I think the last time I vomited was sometime in 2014. I think that was the last time I vomited. I think honest to God, might be 11 years now. 11, almost 12. Somewhere in middle school, high school. I haven't vomited since. I have shit my brains out. That was sophomore year of college, right before COVID, just after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up the next morning and that was a rough 4 days. No
Mm-hmm.
fever. I guess I never checked my temperature. The doctors did, but I didn't have a fever. But anyways, no, this was terrible. I wasn't shooting my brains out. If anything, I was constipated. I had I had these chills constantly. And so you take Tylenol or ibuprofen before you go to bed, and you want to sleep 8 hours. Those drugs only last 6. So without fail, 4 o'clock in the morning, boom, I'm up with chills. Well, it was Saturday. I ended up going to the doctors after this because it was terrible. I was sitting there just shivering. I couldn't. It was weird though, because like my skin, I could feel my skin. The air was warm. It was warm, but my body was like, nope, we are cold. And I'm like, what is going on? I had a pair of shorts and a t-shirt on, and then on top of that, I had sweatpants and a sweatshirt, 2 blankets, and that wasn't enough. I ended up throwing a heating pad in underneath the blankets and then just hugged it. And then that finally got my body temp up to 102. And then I was able to
Nice.
fall back. I fall back asleep. I don't know if I ever went
You
back to
passed
sleep.
out to sleep.
Something. I don't know. Honest to God, it's weird. I haven't been
And
that.
then
I haven't.
I don't even remember. It was like 3 weeks later after all that went down. Man, I picked up the fever. I noticed it was going down. Like the problem whenever I get the fever is that if anything in any way, shape, or form revolves around respiratory, I'm gonna be down for the count for like the next month because I don't have
No
great
respiratory.
lungs. Like I can hold my breath, I can do all the stuff, I can exercise, I can do it. But like since I was like very, 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 very young, I've never had like lungs. So anything respiratory, and I'm out.
I haven't no respiratory symptoms because I went to the doctor Saturday because after that 4 a.m. chill session where I was just it felt like I was spasming. And I'm like, we're going on day 3, and I'm not getting better. I'm getting worse. And I'm like, Doc, what the fuck? And she basically said, oh, just keep taking the Tylenol. Well, I was like, the Tylenol doesn't work. Well, you know what? Why it doesn't work? It was expired. My Tylenol was
I know
expired.
what's wrong with it. Ain't got no drugs in it.
Half my drugs were expired. I'm like, oh. So, no.
Okay, so about you retiring and everything with why on earth things are not. I mean, the ideas obviously I can see that and the time constraints, but
I want to be a
guess
writer.
going back to it all, what's next after this for Doctor Sheep then?
I want to be a writer.
Okay,
I'm working on a novel right now.
okay,
I think the last time I wrote on it, I had just exceeded the last. So I had tried writing a novel a few years ago. It just didn't go. I was doing YouTube and writing at the same time, and I was trying to pump out 500 words a night, which is only about an hour. but I kind of got stuck. Actually, there was plenty of stuff to write about, just because I had a roadmap for the book. But I just got stuck, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to work on this project anymore. So then I decided I'm turning. Basically, it was gonna be a collection of short stories. That's only like 50,000 words you need. I'm at 37. I had already written 36 on one book. I am now at 37 on this short story collection. I'm like, oh, 50,000 is not a big deal. That's really easy. I'm at 37,000, but I'm only on the third of the third. I'm only on the third story of like 17. And I'm like,
Bro's writing a
oh,
Harry Potter novel.
huh?
Bro's writing a Harry Potter novel.
You know what's funny? Harry Potter isn't even that long for a novel. I guess Goblet of Fire's kind of long for a novel, but for the most part, they're not that long. Average novel's 110, like 110,000. That's a good length novel.
You're talking a guy that never read really hardly a day in his life. I don't read. I have read maybe 3 actual book series in my entire life. And
Book series.
I know one of them was Hunger Games, the other one was 39 Clues, and the last one was like Hank the Farm Dog or something. It was the whole like 15, you go to the library, you could see the whole line. They had an entire shelf dedicated to it. Other than that, I never read a book in my entire life. I don't like it. I hate reading with a passion.
It's crazy. I go and talk to people about it, and they're like, "You're writing a book?" And they're like, "I've read one book since that wasn't like required for high school or something." And they're like, "But since high school, I haven't read a book." And I'm like, "Really? I've read a few books, several
I've
books."
read parts of books. I read a lot of articles, but physically picking up a book and reading it cover to cover, I just don't do it. It's
Yeah.
not that I it's not that I despise it. It's not that it's like I don't think that it's important. I just never really learned through text. I always learned or experienced or tried things in a physical manner. Like I have to go out and I have to be able to work on it.
See, I was always a big nonfiction guy, right? And so it was like fiction stuff just didn't work for me. But now that I'm writing fiction, I want to consume fiction because I use it for inspiration. And so the best way I do it is I have an Audible subscription. And so I'm listening to audiobooks all the time. Yes, I have actually read books, but I'm also listening to Audible. I'm currently going through the series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm on the 4th book, and holy shit. The first book is the funniest one. But the 4th book, to be honest, is my favorite so far. It is. But it's the shortest too. That's the annoying part. But it is wonderful.
Nectar of the Gods.
Yeah, I'm like, this is because it's just it's just a payoff after payoff after payoff. It's like he'll mention something stupid, like, why the fuck is he talking about this? He has a habit of doing that. This writer, but it's because it's a comedy. And so you're just like, why the fuck is he talking about this? Who gives a shit about this truck driver? Okay. Oh, turns
Random
out.
sidetrack, but I just realized you're wearing a Menards t-shirt and I'm already in love.
Why? With the Menards t-shirt?
Plumbing, electrical appliances too. The savings will always come right back to you. You save big money. You save big money when you shop Menards.
Bro, half my t-shirts are Menards. They have a t-shirt section. They're like $7.99.
All right, I'm going back to Menards tomorrow.
There you go.
Oh, no, actually, I might go to Menards on Wednesday because I got to go to the dentist on Wednesday.
Yeah, and
I've
they're
been to the dentist in a year and a half.
what?
I haven't been to the dentist in like a year and a half.
Oh boy.
Usually I used to go every 6 months.
Have fun. Make sure. Hopefully they don't find anything.
They might find something up on like this side, but I don't really have any like pain. Like if I bite down or I drink cold water, there's no. I usually do pretty good with my teeth. Yeah. Usually it's always just wear.
Oh, yeah. But, no, they got a whole t-shirt section, and it's usually pretty patriotic like this. Some of it, anyways. They had an America section back in the summer. So, I've got a few of those. It's either Davy Fireworks.
Anything else that's going on fun? You're now becoming a writer. You're retiring.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your last TGIF.
Well, with you, the last one. So the next one I'm going to try and do with Nate. I need to text him. And then the last one will be the whole gang back together again. We're going to do it in their parents' basement. Phil wanted to make it like a super long one. I'm like, the problem is I only have so much time with the GoPro because before the battery dies or before the SIM card fills up. So I'm like, Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know.
Put Will in the oven again and call it a day.
What?
Just put Will in the oven again and call it a day.
Dude, he wouldn't fit in an oven. Bro's like, he's like 6'3".
I know. Well, you could, get a commercial oven.
A commercial oven. We never did throw him in an oven. That video never got 1 million views, so nobody ever got thrown in an oven. Imagine 10 years from now, I'm gonna get a message. Hey, remember that video you made? I'm like, what video? The one about the 1 million views? And I'm like, yeah, what about it? Well, it looks like you're gonna have to throw a guy in an oven. I'm like, fuck.
At that point, Will be 6'9" and have 3 children. And
well, Will's in college now, so he's done growing. He won't be 6'9".
No, he's got till he's 25.
Oh, okay. Well, no. So he's.
I'm growing, but I'm growing more like not even wide or tall, just like Phil. Because I stopped going up like years ago. Going up was never an option after where I'm at. Growing wide is definitely an option, but we're trying to maintain that one. I'm just growing Phil.
I'm getting wider. It's the bank job. You don't move enough. That was the one thing I always liked about the college in Menards was great because Menards kept you moving, and then college you could actually, despite the fact that a club sandwich every day doesn't sound very healthy, 2 club sandwiches a day doesn't sound very healthy. Surprisingly, it's probably healthier than what I eat now. So,
well, it's better than jamming fried food down your gullet every single time. I would think that.
Yeah. I loved the club sandwich. Oh man, and I got the same thing every day, and I had it memorized. It was all muscle memory to order it, and so I'd sit there, and there'd be people who've never used an ordering system before, and they'd sit there and they'd be like, "How does this work?" Or "What do I want to use?" And I'm like, there were times where I'm like, "Hey, this is gonna take you like 5 minutes to figure out. Can I order my food? I got places to be. It will take me 30 seconds. I had been timing myself. How fast can I do this? What is the fastest I can?
Where were you doing this at?
Huh?
Where were you doing this at?
Back in college, back on the East Campus Union.
I know, but where?
At the East Campus Union.
Oh.
So they had so after this was like my senior year. It all would have been my senior year. They had finished renovating it, and so they always had their stuff that was different every day. It was like either pizzas or something, whatever. Or you could just have a burger made or like a deli sandwich. That was there every day. Now, that was great. So I had. What?
You know what I just possibly thought of?
What?
I've been on this podcast how many times? 3. Have I been on this podcast 3 or 4 times?
Maybe 4 or 5.
All I can tell you is that I've been on this podcast how many times, and I think every single time that I have been on here, the background or the area that I have been in has changed every time. Because I think the first time I was up at my dad's, the next time I was at my apartment, but I had it set up against the one wall. Then the next time it sat against the other wall. Then the next time I was in the other room.
Oh,
with the
don't
other
forget the time you
apartment.
came here.
And now this time I'm here.
No, yeah, but also don't forget the time you came here.
Oh yeah. So no, that would be 5 times then, because it was I did the one at my dad's, the one where I was in my house office, then the other one I was in my actual office, then it was at your house, and now it's here.
Yeah.
Every time I've been on this, I have been somewhere completely different.
I could have swore it's been 5 or 6. I'd have to go back and
If
look.
it's been 6, then I had at least 2 in the other one.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. But no, I've I've gone back and looked, and I just imagine. Do you remember the old mic you used to use? The little headset. Oh my God, do you still have it? Ladies and gentlemen, he's gonna bring out. I am out of drink. Oh wait, I have drum roll. I have that sound effect back. He can't hear it, but you and I can. Seems like 40.
You mean the State Farm headset?
Yes!
Oh yeah. Dude, this thing is my tried and true. When everything, either these or this goes kaput, this is here at all costs.
Oh my God.
I will never get rid of this. This is like a $40 PlayStation headset that's a USB. I keep this thing everywhere I go.
Oh
it is my default go back to. If something doesn't work, this will.
Oh my gosh.
I keep it in my closet. And I've had to use it before I got this mic.
That's a Yeti, isn't it?
Yeah, I finally caved in and got it. I hate the boom mics, but I've gotten used to it.
You need to get a shock mount. See? I've got a shock mount on mine. This one is not robust enough.
Well, I also got this right back at the time that let's just say I had a bump to my budget because I had just paid off every last bit of my debt.
Ah!
I paid off my cars, I paid off all of my credit card debt, and I still had some money laying around that it's like I needed to get equipment to upgrade what's going on here if I'm going to take anything seriously. And this is what got the cut.
Ah.
So I know I'm missing a couple of things, but it's like they can wait a little bit because I'm still trying to get everything else going. I just bought a graphics card yesterday.
Oh my God, I was gonna ask you about FS25 and frickin' the requirements, but we'll get to that. What the? No, speaking of background change, and you asked me what else am I doing in my retirement. I'm doing Lego now.
I was going to say, I couldn't tell if that was Lego or just models.
They're Lego models. You know. So, this is one of my favorites, the shuttle. I have the Saturn V back there. That was my favorite until I built the shuttle. The only reason why I don't like it as much as the shuttle is because it doesn't. It's too damn long. It doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't fit on my.
He said.
It barely fits on that shelf back there. And then this is the Concorde here.
That looks like the plane where it says where the nose of the plane droops down. The droop went Snoop.
Yeah, the droop Snoop. Yeah, it is. That is the Concorde.
The went droop.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like the plane that does that.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's got landing gear too.
Jeez, it didn't look that long in person.
That's what she said.
No,
that thing.
It didn't look that long on the camera.
That thing's long. I've got that whole
Thing is
shelf.
long.
The one that the Saturn V's on, which you can see, you just can't tell what it is.
Looks like a submarine.
Yeah,
It's a big rocket.
Yeah, it's huge. It's on a whole shelf that's got all kinds of other Lego on it. I was like, there have been a bunch, and I'm still not done. There have been a bunch of sets that I've wanted, and I was like, I'm just gonna, just might as well, now that I'm done with YouTube. That's what I'm gonna put my money towards. Of course, once that's done, I was going to buy a nice big telescope, but I'm beginning to realize my computer, which at one point was like top of line, great, is now, AMD almost dropped support for my processor. I'm like, what?
Which one is it?
It's Ryzen 9 3900X. That thing was made in like 2018. That was 6 years ago.
I got like a Ryzen 7.
Huh?
I got like a Ryzen 7 38 or something.
That's what you have.
I know, but what? I thought Ryzen 9 would be like the brand new on top of the line.
No. So, they used to go 975. They've kind of dropped that nomenclature, and it's just more like so now it's, AMD is really bad naming things, but at least with their CPU processors on their desktop platforms, it makes somewhat sense. So 3000, so 3000, 4000, 5000. If it's an odd number, it denotes it as desktop. If it's even, that's typically laptop platform. And so 3000 is one gen, 5000 is the next gen, 7000 is the next gen, and then now they're up to, I think they're going to drop 9000 soon.
I say I got a Ryzen 7 5800.
Yeah, so you have
I
the
got a
next
5000.
gen from mine. But fine. But like apparently, so then I'm thinking, okay, I was like, all right, well, originally I was just gonna upgrade my GPU, and power supply, and get another.
How much power supply do you got right now?
Not enough for
Not enough.
not. It's. I think I don't remember what the hell is in there, to be honest. I have to go back and rewatch my
Is
video.
it like a 600?
It's probably 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I slightly been biting the bullet very slowly to get ready for 25 or just the mods and processing and doing videos in general. So I went from 600 to 1200
Yeah.
because I wanted to prep in case it were to come down to I need the power. Well, over the summer when I did all the stuff and lost the computer and blah 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 blah, they put in a new M.2 for the storage. It's like 2 terabyte storage for M.2, and then what my SSD that used to be the 2 terabyte primary that moved to secondary, and then the hard drive, the Seagate one, 4 terabytes. That's the backup of backups.
Yeah.
And then new motherboard. I kept the RAM that I got because that was 16 gigs or something that I've already had since beforehand, but it's upgraded. And the new CPU. So at this point, the only thing in the computer that had not been modified was the graphics.
Oh yeah.
And that's a 2060 Super. I've had that since this computer's been in my possession. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we need something that's going to be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, my C drive is always it's 1 terabyte, but it's always fucking it's full, because Windows, when every time it updates, it makes a copy of itself. Well, when you already have 500 gigs in there, and it makes a copy of the C drive, you're out of storage. And so I'm like, okay. I'm kind of tired of this. Actually, what really needs to... I'm going to need a new phone at some point. Because Samsung... It's only Samsung, apparently. And nobody... We don't know how to fix it. There's nothing we can do. Samsung just accumulates other files. It's literally called Other. And it just accumulates. I have a 256 gig storage in here. I only have 20 gigs left. 90% of... Not 90. 50%, maybe 60% of my phone's storage is taken up by those other files. I don't know what they are. You can't get rid of them. The only thing you might be able to do is if you backed everything up and factory reset the phone. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So I'm like, really? It's not even done with its lifespan yet. I've still got another year or two.
I've had the same phone since I was a senior in high school, and then the phone before that was all the way to my freshman year. And even before that, I think I went for an iPhone. I got an iPhone 4. It was the hand-me-down from my sister. Then I went to a Note 4 because she didn't like the iPhone that she didn't like the Samsung that she got, so she got an iPhone. So I got that, and then I went from the Samsung to an iPhone 7. It was the first phone that I had that was actually mine, not someone gave it to me.
Right.
Or it's you just passed it down. And then I went from the 7 to an SE. And both of them I still have the 7. I actually legitimately for 4th of July this last year, I powered the freaking 7 back on and used it as the radio phone because it's still logged into all of the iTunes and stuff. So I used that phone, plugged it in so it would stay charged. I mean, it's probably the battery life's a little worse than my SE, but I just have it on hand in case something else needs to be done. I need to take a picture, I need a recording, need a second angle. They still work. And if I have it on Wi-Fi, it's a perfectly usable phone other than calling and texting.
So my S9, it was all right. It had a few issues with it. That was the first phone that I bought myself. It was my second phone ever. And it was when I got it, it was a huge upgrade over my previous piece of junk. Of course, I only had the S9 for a few years before Samsung was like, yeah, we're done supporting the S9. Please upgrade. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, well, as somebody who keeps their banking stuff on their phone, I don't really want to worry about that. So I'm like, all right. So I got the S21. And then Samsung was like, you know what? We're sorry about all the crap we've put you through. We'll give it 5 years worth of software updates. And I'm like, all right. Well, there's planned obsolescence anyways, because I'm limping along with 20 gigs of storage. I haven't had a storage problem since my very first phone, which only had 16 gigs of storage on it. And I'm like, you gotta be joking. So, and it's so when I go on trips this summer, I would like to take photos with my phone and take videos, because I'm still going to make vlogs, because those are for my own keepsake. People can watch them on YouTube, whatever. I don't really care. But I'm going to make them for myself. But I don't want to have to carry the goddamn camera around with me, because that's really annoying. I did that on the last trip, and it was really annoying. I'll still have it with me for certain things, but it's really annoying, especially when you're hiking and you need to carry your water. Phone, you always have it on you. It's just in your pocket. And it looks just fine, with my camera. If anything, it might look a little better. It doesn't have the it doesn't have the zoom capabilities that my camera does, but otherwise, it does everything my camera can do. Maybe a little better. There's a few things my camera can still do that it can't do, like long exposures. But anyways, so it's I have no issues using them interchangeably. But now it's for my trip, I've only got 20 gigs. What the that's not enough. Maybe, but probably not.
Don't travel.
We're trying to see all the states, Buck. It's not an option.
Act like it's 1840, where you just don't use your phone to navigate your trip.
Well, no, I mean, I can still navigate. I just can't take any photos with it. It's just I don't want to limp it along until then. But I don't know. I gotta
That part
figure.
I don't really know how to help you with, but yeah, I'm
gotta
still. Maybe in 25, I'll end up getting a new phone finally. I just don't have a reason. The only reason that I have to get rid of my phone is the camera.
Oh
That's
yeah,
literally the only reason that I would need to get rid of the phone or get rid of my phone.
everybody
Because
loves
the
iPhone
battery life,
SEs.
yeah, it sucks, but it's like I have a battery pack. I have ways to charge the phone. It's literally the camera. And the camera is doing fine as it is right now. I just could get better quality.
Yeah,
It's my only reason. So therefore it doesn't make the line.
everybody loves the SE. Oh,
It's still like having my home button. I don't want to get rid of it.
oh. Well, they probably drop security updates for your phone.
Cool.
If you're worried about that
I
kind
don't
of
click
thing.
stupid stuff. I use the phone to watch YouTube. I mean, I got a VPN. I got other stuff that it's like ad blockers, but it's like I don't do as much with my phone anymore like I used to. Like I don't play mobile games. I don't browse for things. I'm not looking for mod files and clicking on random things. Like it's just I don't.
It comes to you,
Yeah.
quite literally. It's no. So back to the computer thing. So what is FS25? What the? Do you know what the hell it's going to require?
Well, I would think by now on Giants Hub they should have the minimum requirements for the game.
Because I've seen
Yeah.
the God rays and I'm like, it's not RTX, is it? No way, it's RTX.
It says you're going to need at least Windows 10, Windows 11, Mac 11.3, processor Intel i5 6400 or AMD Ryzen 5 1400, 8 gigs of RAM, a 1050 Ti or an AMD RX 470, 3 gigs of RAM, DX12 support,
Oh,
broadband internet, 45 gigs of available storage. Holy cow, this game is getting bigger as the years go on. And internet connection required for online gaming.
oh, that's not bad.
No, Farm Sim as a base game is never the problem. It's when you add mods, that's when the problems start to arise.
Now the 1050, that's a little concerning. I only have a 2080 Ti. That's a little concerning. But otherwise,
1050 is like this, dude. 1050 is like
I know it's ancient and it's junk.
that was what my first graphics card was in my original computer. Like when I ran with a Dell Optilex that had an upgraded interior, it ran with a 1050 Ti.
They didn't give RAM. They didn't give minimum RAM specs.
I think it said 8 gigs. Now you'd probably want. What do you got?
Oh, I have 32. It's not a big deal.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
What you already have is going to be able to run the game.
I
The card that I just bought for the computer to run with what I'm finally doing is a 4070 Ti Super.
Oh my god, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I want to
I
get.
needed something that was going to be able to record, edit, process, and do everything that I can
Oh, you don't want to be like Jake and
from
just have
home.
a.
Like it's if I didn't have a team, I could justify getting it for the sake of the video quality of the content. But if it helps out in any of the other things, it's like that card needs to take a rest.
Oh, you're not going to be like Jake and just get another computer to record gameplay to.
I would like to do something like that because my buddy Square does it as well for the angles. Like for the sake of me, like when I do my drone shots, it's literally just setting the AI and then I get out and use my controller with very minute movements and I walk the character around in flight mode with the field of view zoomed in. Like that's my drone shots. But with the way Square does it, he sets it up like where you got a character on a tripod. And then his character on the one computer is doing all the work, and then the other guy is just sitting in the corner where you can't really see him, but he's filming the thing. Like it's a great idea, but I don't have the justification to have a whole nother desktop be
Fair.
doing this.
No.
At least I don't have the resources.
Yeah. No, so well, I could play the game. I just don't know if I could do maximum graphic settings. I've got the CPU should be fine. A 1400.
What do you run currently?
Huh?
What do you run currently?
A 2080 Ti.
28. Not
It's
terrible.
old.
It's better, I think it's better than mine. 2060 Super.
Oh, I thought you had a 3060.
No.
Oh.
I got a 2060.
Oh. But now you've got a 4070 Ti, so
I expect that to be miles better than what I did when I looked at the markings. It should be able to fix my problems that I've gotten so far.
I won't be able to. I'd have to see how it'll stream things.
Huh?
Well, because if I ever decide, because I still randomly stream. I almost thought about streaming Minecraft today, but all I was doing was grinding villagers, and I was like, that's not entertaining. Nobody wants to see me. Well, maybe people want to see me yell at villagers all day. Maybe. That's all I did today. That's what I did today. There wasn't enough YouTube videos to watch, so
I had both my buddies, Clutch and I can't remember who, Clutch and Nate, just completely dive bomb your stream. You have like 3 people to watch, 305 minutes.
I remember that.
That was a fun day.
That was a fun day. No, yeah, I was
like,
just.
I got you, fam. We're gonna get you over the muck.
I was just bitching at villagers all day. Literally just. God, I was trying to get a Fortune 3 villager. And fuck me, that took forever to get. Good lord. It took me like.
Well, what else do we technically have for our topics, though?
Well, we're almost through everything. The last thing is just FS25 in general. Yeah, retirement, writing, Legos, like literally all the topics we're pretty much hit, just kind of through natural flow of conversation.
Very nice.
I've gotten better and worse at podcasting. It's one of those mysteries.
I say we used to get pretty off track back in the early days.
Oh, Phil and I still do. He is terrible about that. I can only imagine what the 200th podcast will look like, but